Look around you. I'm sure you would look at something that is designed by someone. User experience design, or UX design for short, can be seen everywhere. From our houses to our smartphones, everything is designed based on our needs. It is one of the most creative fields and defines us as a species.
You must have heard of this term user experience quite lately, and you must be hearing it quite often, and must be wondering how old is user experience? Is it so new as it sounds? Well, let me tell you, user experience is a terminology which goes back to 100, 1000, no, 6,000 years ago. So back in China, there was this practice which was known as Feng Shui, which was often used by people in order to arrange their spaces in a manner that it was very, very effective and very, very efficient for people to walk around and be comfortable in. Later, if you've heard of this term called, or this company known as Toyota, they used user experience, or rather human-centered approach, in order to enhance the experience of their employees. So they had installed a buzzer, and they would often conduct these sessions where they would take feedback from their employees whether their experience was good or not. Also, going back to Walt Disney days, Disneyland is one of the best examples of how user experience was kept in mind in order to design everything that is there. And in 1990s, user experience was officially known. And this term was given by the godfather of user experience, Mr. Don Norman, who was also an information architect at Apple. So he came up with a methodology where we would solve a lot of problems or design interfaces by keeping in mind the needs and experience of a user. And we keep them in the center of the problem, and we design interfaces, or we design systems, spaces, and every single thing, keeping ergonomics, keeping how they interact and what value they need or want from any product or any service.
User experience design is how personal computers became mainstream in 1970s. It is just an evolved form of interaction design from the 90s, and as we deal with a whole lot of different product, UX design gets more multidisciplinary, including aesthetics, psychology, sociology, usability, and visual design.
So as a user experience designer, one of the most commonly asked questions remains the same. That is, how do we make the product or any service intuitive and make it better for any user? So there are a lot of ways and methods that you follow in terms of user experience, and apply them to anything and everything in order to get a better experience out of your product, service, or space, or anything that you have. So one of the methods is observation. You understand what is going in a person's mind, in a user's mind, while he is using a product, a service, or he is in a specific space. And you try and understand his expressions, how he did any task, how he interacted with it, and what was he thinking while he was doing it. Was he happy? Expressions often tell a lot about a person and his experience, and that is exactly what we very, very efficiently use in order to get our feedbacks. Also, talking about feedbacks, that's another way of getting a lot of data about how exactly was the experience. So every time you end a video call, you get a small rating box which asks you to rate your experience. There, we are trying to understand, or the companies are trying to understand, that what made you happy and if there was anything that was wrong. Once you give that feedback, every time you get an update on your phone, it's actually a result of all the complaints made by various users. On the other hand, there's this very popularly used technique which is known as usability testing, in which we put a user in a scenario where he is asked to use a product or use a service. And we understand how exactly is he interacting with it. We get a lot of feedback. We put a lot of cameras. We monitor the users. And we actually understand with the help of technology how a person is feeling while he's using anything. And in this case, we get very, very precise data and which can further be used in order to enhance any experience of any product, service, company, space, or the imagination goes on.
I remember reading somewhere Don Norman saying that design is everything. What UX designers do today is not just create an experience about a product or a service or a gadget or any new technology, but also before and after it has been used. Think about it. Even unboxing is an experience.
There are questions UX designers ask when you design the product, but the most important one is how does this product or service addresses the needs of the user? We also ask other questions like who is my user? What are the demographics of the user? What are the psychographics of the user? And so on.
If you want to find the answers to the question UX designers ask, you'd be happy to know that the barrier for entry in UX design is very low. You can literally come from any educational background and you would still be able to add value to this field of UX design.
It is extremely challenging and very rewarding to be a UX designer. You get to think differently every day to come up with new ideas and possibilities. The job has an endless depth.
And the best part is you can start learning UX design today.
For those of you who are not familiar with ImaginXP, we are India's leading design education organization. Till date, more than 15,000 students have been certified and graduated from ImaginXP in the UX domain. Our objective is to bring world-class, industry-led design education to students and professionals, which we've been doing through various certification programs, university tie-ups in various states of India, and through workshops with corporates. You can start learning UX design with us at ImaginXP and make the world a better place. Thank you.